What if your school project became the flag of an entire country? That's exactly what happened to a 17-year-old student named Robert G. Heft, and his story is just one part of the long and fascinating journey of the American flag. The American flag, often called the Stars and Stripes, is one of the most well-known symbols in the world. It represents the United States not only at home, but also on battlefields, at the Olympics, and even on the moon. But this flag wasn't always the way it looks today. In fact, the current flag is the 27th version of the United States flag. Let's explore how it began, how it changed, and what it means today. The story starts in the 1770s, during the American Revolution. Back then, the 13 colonies were fighting for independence from Great Britain, and needed a symbol to represent their unity. In 1775, the first unofficial flag was used, called the Grand Union flag, which had 13 red and white stripes but included the British Union Jack in the corner. It showed that the colonies were united, but still tied to Britain. However, once independence was declared in 1776, the young country needed its own flag. On June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress passed the first Flag Act, stating, "The flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation." This flag had 13 stripes for the original 13 colonies, and 13 stars representing the new states coming together. The stars were arranged in different patterns, sometimes in a circle, sometimes in rows, because the exact layout wasn't specified. As the country grew and new states joined the Union, the flag needed to change. In 1795, after Vermont and Kentucky became states, 2 more stars and 2 more stripes were added, making 15 stripes and 15 stars. This was the version of the flag that flew during the War of 1812, and inspired Francis Scott Key to write the Star-Spangled Banner. But people soon realized that adding both stars and stripes for every new state wouldn't work for long. So in 1818, Congress passed a new law. The flag would always have 13 stripes, to honor the original colonies, and would add only 1 star for each new state. From then on, every time a new state was added, a star was added to the flag on the next July 4th. This system worked well. As America expanded westward, the number of stars continued to grow: 20, 30, 40. By 1912, the country had 48 states, and the flag had 48 stars arranged in 6 rows of 8. This was the flag that flew during both World Wars, and it stayed the same for 47 years. Then, in 1959, 2 more states joined the Union. Alaska became the 49th state in January 1959. Hawaii became the 50th state in August 1959. A temporary 49-star flag was used for 1 year. Then, on July 4, 1960, the current 50-star flag was officially adopted. The stars are now arranged in 9 rows, alternating 5 and 6 stars, and the stripes remain at 13. This version of the flag has lasted over 60 years, making it the longest used design in American history. Now let's talk about the flag's colors and symbols, because they have special meanings. Red stands for courage and strength. White means honesty and purity. Blue stands for fairness, justice, and determination. The 13 stripes remind us of where the country began, with the 13 original colonies that fought for independence. The 50 stars represent all the states that now make up the United States. But here's one of the most interesting parts of the story. In 1958, a high school student named Robert G. Heft, who was only 17 years old, created a new flag design as part of a history class project. He thought Alaska and Hawaii would soon become states, so he made a version of the flag with 50 stars, carefully arranging them in a clean, balanced pattern. At first, his teacher wasn't very impressed, but Heft didn't give up. He sent his design to Washington, D.C., and it was eventually reviewed by officials in the White House. Out of more than 1,500 submitted designs, Heft's version was selected by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. On July 4, 1960, Robert's flag was officially raised for the first time at the U.S. Capitol. A flag made by a teenager had become the official symbol of the United States, and it's still used today. Robert Heft went on to become a teacher and public speaker. He even designed a 51-star version, just in case another state joins the Union in the future, like Washington, D.C., or Puerto Rico. So what does the American flag really stand for? It stands for freedom, unity, and the history of a growing nation. It honors the bravery of those who fought for independence, and the continued efforts of people who believe in democracy and justice. It shows how the United States began with 13 small colonies, and grew to include 50 diverse states working